Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. Here is your host, Andy Ruther.
Welcome back to another episode of the Andy Ruther Show. That is me, Andy Ruther. Looking a little yellow today. What's up with this camera? Look a little jaundicey. You ever see a baby when they're born? They look a little yellow, a little jaundicey. Not to be confused with the group Jodeci. Nobody's getting that. A little jaundicey. Looking a little yeller. Looking a little yellow. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not messing with it. I don't know why. I tried to before the show, but we're gonna go with this look today, guys. Yeah, babies they look a little yellow when they're born. I didn't know that till I had kids. And then here's what's crazy. When they poop, it removes the yellowish tint. I don't know why, but every time they poop, it like removes the yellowish tint from the body. So like when you have kids, you're like, it's important to have them poop. You get rid of that jaundicey look, a little yellow look. By the way, speaking of poop, because that has become a theme on the Andy Ruther Show here, we're struggling in the potty training. I know you guys wanted an update on that, and that's how important that is. She just pooped once, man. She's pooped once in the toilet. She just won't do it. But she has so much interest, which is fascinating. Like she loves walking in when I'm taking a dump. In fact, she tried to wipe my ass Sunday morning. She literally pulled out a wet wipe while I was pooping and started wiping it on my cheek. And it was bad, man. It was, I had 20 wings the night before. It was one of those. So it was not pretty. It was not a good sight in there. Brittany in the other room yelling, "What are you doing in there? Get out of there. It stinks. Why are you in there?" She's like, "I'm helping Daddy." I'm like, "You can help me by sitting on the toilet on your own. How about that? Come on. I'm sick of changing your nasty diaper. Do it." I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm asking everybody for advice. This is why I miss my mom. That's why I just want to call my mom up and be like, text my mom, be like, "Yo, how'd you potty train us 5 boys? I need some tips here." She won't do it. She'll sit on the toilet. She'll watch. We've tried everything. You tried to sing to her. You try to give her the phone to watch something, offer her treats, incentivize her. She's only. I mean, I'm keeping track. She's pissed twice and she's pooped once. That's the tally. Although, I don't know. They're like, dude, she's not even 2.5. I guess it's kind of young. But yeah, that's what's going on over here. I'm done with changing those diapers. Because it just stinks. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just have a cleaner area down there. It's a lot easier if she's sitting in the toilet. But she tried to wipe my ass. It was hilarious. I said, "What are you doing?" She hangs out. She hangs out. She just chills. Like, "Yeah, I'm gonna set up shop over here. We're unloading Saturday night's wings. I'm just gonna hang with my dad." Dude, it's so hot here right now. It's like unbearable. I know I say this every summer, but god damn. Dude, these summers, it's the humidity. I will take the dry heat. I lived in Las Vegas. I will take that dry desert heat any day over this Midwest, just wet, wicked humidity. It's terrible. And we've had 90s and humidity. It's just the only way to describe it. I say this weather is AIDS. That's the only way. And I'll say it out loud. People probably hear me think I'm nuts. I'll be like, get out of my car. I'll be like, "Oh man, this weather is AIDS." That's how it feels. It's the worst because you shower. Like, I've been going to the gym in the mornings and then I shower after and you feel fresh. And then literally just walking from the gym to my car, I start sweating again. And then I just get annoyed. I'm like, why did I shower? Why did I shower? What am I doing? I'm all stinky again. Why did I shower? It's just it's the worst. That's the thing I miss most about California. Is just that Mediterranean climate. It's very nice. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I live here. What are you gonna do? I have some updates for you guys because it's become a theme on this show. All these teachers, I don't know what is happening. It is an epidemic. All these teachers just banging young dudes. It's not. It's like every day I hop on Twitter. Every day I see something in the news, and I feel like I've become the correspondent for my brothers, for my college group chat. It's like I'm the guy just like sending out whatever New York Post or the Daily Mail, whatever's running the latest United States teacher hooking up with a teenage boy. It's nonstop, man. And I used to always say, are there more pedos? I used to do this with men. Are there more pedos now preying on young girls than there were when I grew up? I've said this. Or just we didn't have the internet. We didn't know. Is that the same way with the women? Is that the same way? Were there teachers just were there hot teachers banging students when I was in grade school, when I was in high school? I don't think so. I would have known. We would have talked. We got even more this week. But before we get to that, I do have an update on Miss Emily Nutley, the former faculty member from my high school, St. Xavier High School here in Cincinnati, who was arrested, who was convicted. She's serving jail time. We got our first mug shot. I believe she's serving about 3 years. You ever seen somebody happier to go to jail? Look at this mug shot. This is crazy. Look at her eyes. Look at this. Look at this. This is absolutely insane. Look at her face. Miss Emily Nutley caught banging a 17-year-old in the park, in her office at school. Look at her. Have you ever seen someone so happy to go to prison? Look how crazy. Let's get a close-up on these eyes. Look how crazy these eyes are. That is the look of a mentally deranged woman. That's what that is. That is a nut shot. Look at that. That's crazy eyes. I've never seen someone so happy with their prison pick. Look at her. My brother was texting me that I should write her. What did he say? I'm gonna pull this up. What did he tell me I should do? He said that I should have like a thing for the podcast where I write her in prison. A segment, Letters to Nutley, where you read a new letter you've written. I'm sure Brittany wouldn't mind. You know, I don't know what Brittany would say about that. Brittany doesn't even know. I don't even know what Brittany knows. She doesn't even listen to the show. So whatever. She didn't care. That's what happens, guys. When we first started dating, she used to love listening to me on podcasts. Listen to every Dirty Sports episode. She loved it. Then we moved in, bought a house, had a couple kids. I could air out all the dirty laundry from our relationship in this show. She'd have no clue. She'd have no clue. I could hold up pieces of her underwear and try to sell it to you guys, you sickos out there. Because you're out there. I know you are. I know you are. You weirdos. She'd have no clue. By the way, she was given is it weird to donate underwear? Is it weird? Sidebar. She was cleaning out the closet. Good for her. It's about time. She got 1 million clothes. 1 million clothes. Women. I don't get it. Don't get it. I'll never get it. She had a whole bag full of like underwear she didn't wear anymore. I was like, why don't you donate that to the poor? She said, you don't give underwear to the poor. I was like, you don't? I don't know. Why not? It's perfectly good. You can't give it to the poor? Why not? You know there's some poor person who goes up to St. Vincent de Paul, want to put on a little something sexy for her man. You know they do. Is that weird? I don't know. So all these teachers, guys, we got a new one. They're all attractive too. I almost want to bring on a psychologist to break that. Why are these women doing this? Why are they doing this? This latest one in upstate New York who worked at a school, 22-year-old New York school employee charged with a felony for sending nudes to a 14-year-old. Look at this woman. Dude, look at her. Dude, she's just hot. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's just call it, like, she's hot. Look at her. She's 22. Very sexy. Sending nudes to a 14-year-old? Anna Maria Malazzo, a 22-year-old employee of the Greater Southern Tier Board of Cooperative Education Services. Dear God, could that be longer? An employee of the Greater Southern Tier Board of Cooperative Education Services, also known as Bacchus, BOCES, was arrested Monday, a week after a school resource officer was tipped that she was sending lewd photos to a minor. She had been sending nude photos to the 14-year-old over 3 months, cops allege. She was charged with second-degree disseminating indecent material to minors in the second degree, a felony, and endangering the welfare of a child, a misdemeanor. We don't know if she was a teacher. She did work for the school. We don't have confirmation. Dude, just look at her, though. I sent this to my buddies. My buddies are joking, like, I want her to send me nudes. They're joking, right? It's like, look at her. Like, what is going on with this woman? And we're going to get to this later in the show. I want to talk about dating in 2025. And I don't know what's going on with men. I don't know what's going on with women. Everybody's crazy. Everybody's batshit crazy. Like, I don't know. I've brought this up before. Is it porn? They all have this weird, like, porn fantasy that they're going to be naughty to the younger guy. They're going to take his virginity. I don't know what it is, but look at her. Just look at her. She's an extremely attractive young woman. Girl, you're 22. Go find dudes your own age. Go to the bars. Hop on Tinder. Hop on Bumble. Hop on Hinge. What are you doing? Do you guys remember what you were like at 14? My mind can't even comprehend nude photos from someone this attractive at 14. I don't even know what. I might just cream my pants, literally. Just seeing it. I can't comprehend being a 14-year-old boy and a woman who looks like this sending me nudes. It's unbelievable. And then we have an update on a story that I'd previously discussed. This other teacher, where's she at? Where's homegirl at? Okay, here we are. Yeah, we got an update on Christina Formella. Remember her? Let's pull her up the stage. Another attractive one. Remember her? Christina Formella? Look at it, dude. Look at her. Another extremely, extremely attractive woman. Look at her. I just don't get it. But here is the update on her. Let's pull that up. High school teacher Christina Formella was smacked with 52 additional charges. Allegedly, she had sex with a 14-year-old boy at least 45 times. There's people listening to this show that have not had sex 45 times in their life. She had sex with a 14-year-old 45 times. Remember, she was arrested back in March, and I think I talked about that. Prosecutors now allege that the abuse was much more than initially thought. They have found hundreds, if not thousands, of text messages that support the boy's allegations. The teacher first noticed the boy when she was a coach for one of his sports teams when he was a freshman. Again, this sounds like I don't know. It's like a porno. It's weird. She allegedly molested him while classes were in session. The abuse happened at school and at her home, and it went on for 2 years. According to text, the pair was almost caught by a teacher one time at school. Prosecuting attorney Jacqueline McAndrew said at least 5 of the incidents happened at her home during school hours. This is, by the way, this is her yearbook picture, which has not been removed, which is bizarre, which was also in the news. Her yearbook picture has not been removed. This is her yearbook picture. A man, you're 14. This is your teacher. Bro, she's a very attractive woman. Like if I was on a dating app, I'd be like, oh, and I was a younger guy. I was in my bachelor days. I was in my Andy Ruther, just not caring about getting in down in serious days, you know. The girls sometimes called me a fuckboy those days. That's what I'm talking about. I'd be like, yo, Christina Formella's pretty hot. Formella told the boy that she didn't plan on marrying her now husband. Oh, that guy, this guy. Because she claimed he was also having an affair with her best friend. Here's what's crazy. Homeboy has stuck with her. Look at him showing up to court with her. Look at this cuck. Let's get this on the full screen. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's holding her hand, walking into court. Bro, your wife was cheating on you with a 14-year-old. A 14-year-old. Again, 14, like, I'm just remembering myself at 14, like how inexperienced I was, not just with girls, with life. Dude, you don't know shit about anything at 14. He's walking into the courthouse holding her hand. Bro, you're taking a massive L here. Like, you need to just you need to move. You need to get out of the country. I don't know where you need to go. You need to get out of the country. Maybe go to Iran or something. I don't know. Go into a cave in Bora Bora. Isn't that a place in Afghanistan? Isn't that where bin Laden was hiding for a while? Go become a monk. Go to a monastery. Go to Thailand. Just leave here for a few years. Go on an expedition to Antarctica. Go into sensory deprivation and just don't wake up for 2 years. You need to leave, bro. You need to leave. Your wifey was banging a 14-year-old in your house, bro. In your house. What are you doing? You're holding their hand? I mean, I am very liberal with the word cuck. I'll be honest, guys. I use it all the time. That's my go-to. It's been my go-to for a few years. When I get annoyed when I'm driving, look at this cuck. Oh, why don't you drive quicker, cuck? My 2-year-old daughter's going to know the word cuck. I say the damn word cuck so much. That's like my go-to. But this guy's like the poster child for cucks. He got cucked by a 14-year-old. He's holding her hand. He's walking into court. You know we can see you, right? Like, you know what people say about you, man. Where is his family member? Where are his friends? And say, hey, man, you need to leave. Not just her. You need to leave the city. You need to leave the state. You need to leave the country. You might have to go to Mars, to be honest, bro. You might have to give old Elon Musk, give him a ring. Give old Elon a ring. Say, can we make it to Mars yet? Like, you can't show your face in public. You can't go anywhere. This guy walking around standing by her side. But again, what is possessing these women to do that? These are 2 women now, 14-year-olds. Sending nudes to a 14-year-old, extremely attractive woman. You have a 14-year-old teacher just banging for 2 years. You banged him until he got his license. Think about that. Your relationship was so long with him, he went from riding a bicycle to driving a car. That's how early on this relationship started. Meanwhile, homeboy's like, hey man, you want to borrow my car? You want to go for a spin as you're get some lessons in? Get some driver's practice? You can drive around. She's giving him a roadhead. He's sitting in the back seat. I don't know if you can do that though. I mean, I let you borrow my car, man, but I don't know. I don't know if you should be doing that with my wife. I know she's your teacher and all, but like, can we just, keep it classy? Walking in the court, holding their hands, bro. Come on, figure it out. Figure it out. I don't know. I just don't know what's happening now with dating and with people in general, right? Men and women. And I saw this post. I want to bring up this post. I thought this was a very interesting. I was like, this all ties into all this craziness. I don't know who this person is. I saw this on Twitter. They were commenting on how women look at dating now in 2025 and how picky women are and just the expectations of women for men. She's basically saying are ridiculous. And I found myself agreeing with a lot of this and also thinking the same way how I should view or how I maybe made mistakes when I was dating, viewing women and vice versa. So let me pull this up. So I see this thing on Twitter the other day. It was going viral, right? She was commenting on a Wall Street Journal story. So the Wall Street Journal ran a story a few days ago. It said, American women have never been this resigned to staying single. And you hear a lot about this, especially in politics. Like these proud single women, they're usually very liberal. The article, again, headline says, the challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. So that's the article. By the way, I did not read the article of the Wall Street Journal, but her tweet caught my attention. Indian woman, hopefully I don't butcher her name too much, Apurva Govind. I love how I tried to add an accent like I knew what the fuck I was doing. Apurva is what those teachers were to those boys. They were pervas. Apurva Govind. Regardless, she writes a bunch, and I'm going to go through it, and it's a lot, but I want to go through it because I think it's interesting, and it ties into dating, and again, I don't know what's happening. Luckily, I'm out of this game. I got my own family now. I'm out of this world, but I was just in this world a few years ago, so it's relevant to me. Anyway, she says, oh, fuck it, I'll spill. All my friends still single in their 30s? Question mark. They're hunting unicorns. Somewhere along the way, a man stopped being just a man. Now he's supposed to be your therapist, best friend, passionate lover, future father of the year, financial provider, and probably a mind reader too. All wrapped up in one devastatingly handsome package. Thank you. Thank you, Apurva. Thank you. She ain't wrong, guys. And I'll tell you what, man, the more I see on this stuff, that's the problem with these ladies. The expectation is absolutely ridiculous. And I do think this is a double standard. I don't think men have the same expectation. Let me just read that again. A man now is supposed to be your therapist, best friend, passionate lover, future father of the year, financial provider, probably a mind reader, all wrapped up in a devastatingly handsome package. Yeah, you want all that. That's what these women want. They want all that. Remember that woman I covered on this show a few months ago? That woman who was talking about how hard it is and her husband couldn't read her mind. That woman, she's a total twat, if we recall. She's so unimportant, I don't even remember her name. But that's the problem. That's what these women want now. They think you're supposed to be all that. All that. Like there's only so much bandwidth in a day for us to do, right? There's only so much we can do. She goes on to write, we grew up on a steady diet of perfect men who could do it all, and now we're shocked to discover that actual humans come with flaws. Men seem to get this, she writes. They prioritize and put up with a lot more shit overall. I agree. Meanwhile, women are out here with spreadsheets of required qualities, then wonder why they're perpetually disappointed. She's right, though. That's my point. You're trying to check all these boxes. And by the way, I've been there. I've been there. That was the biggest problem with dating in LA. Everybody was trying to one up their game. You'd be dating somebody good and you'd be like, oh, can I do better? And I fell into that trap for sure. I know girls did it to me, and I know I did it to girls. You'd be dating a perfectly fine girl, a nice girl, a pretty girl, a charming girl, one with a great personality. And you're like, I think I can do better. That was such a problem in LA. And I assume it's a problem in big cities. But I think that's universal now. Like, I think women now reading this, it's like they think they're going to find the perfect dude. They watch these movies and then these rom-coms, and it's like you're going to check all the boxes. Whereas I think we're realistic, right? And by that, I mean, it's like we know there could be multiple matches for us out there. There could be multiple women out there who could be compatible, who could be good life partners, who could be good mothers, who could check all those boxes. The women, they want it all. And the truth is, I sometimes feel that way in my own relationship, right? It's a common theme, I think, when we fight. I'll be like, dude, just pick up context clues, right? We've full transparency. We've struggled the most in our relationship in the last few months since we met. Kid number 2, with already having a young little girl, I think has caused a lot of stress in our relationship. And that's been part of the problem. Is I'm like, you're not reading between the lines. Like, I can read between the lines on you. You like read between the lines. I think it's a female problem, to be honest. But she goes on, there's more. She says, being an educated woman and making decent money adds more things to the laundry list of expectations, but the underlying problem is the same. And this next part is so true. This is very poignant what she writes. She understands men in this next part. Here's the other trap. She continues, even the ugliest of women can always find someone willing to sleep with them. Preach. She's right. Even the ugliest of women is going to find a dude that's going to bang her. Open a dating app at any age and boom, 10 matches in 10 minutes, she writes. Most dating apps are hookup apps in a trench coat. Very well said. Hookup apps in disguise. They are. The pool of truly viable men gets smaller after your late 20s. So women see all these matches and think they're sitting on endless opportunity. The casual fling marketplace and the commitment marketplace run on different fundamentals. I treat finding a match in the commitment marketplace is a zero-sum game. Your goal is to win and get out of the pool as quickly as possible, or you're in for a lot of drama. So basically what she's saying is, you don't want to be stuck in this endless circle of being on the dating apps, right? You don't want to be stuck in that. That's kind of what Hinge, like that's their motto, right? Like, you're going to get off our app because you're going to find somebody, which me and Brittany met on Hinge, to be honest. It's like a drug. It is. All the matches. Dude, I remember that. It's a high. It's an endorphin high. You're shooting up heroin, but with good feelings. Like, oh, I got all these matches. All these girls like me. All these girls want to go on a date with me. They want to meet me. They want to hook up with me. You know, all those things that comes with it. That's kind of what's going on here. And she's right. And she's right that it's misleading. Because once a woman gets older, the truth is that's where a double standard occurs. Again, the opposite way is like it's double. It's sorry, I'm basically trying to say you're damaged goods. Women become more damaged goods. Men can settle down later. I'm a prime example. I settled down until I was 40, 41. Had my first kid at 41. You can't do that if you're a woman. If you do, you're an outlier. It's a rare case you're settling down at 40, 41, having your first kid as a woman. There's genetics. There's biology. There's things against you. I can have kids till I'm 80. Didn't Robert De Niro just have a kid? He's 80. He's in his 80s. And you know, all these women, here's my thing, dude. Now that I have kids, first of all, your perspective of life changes. Everything changes. It does. Everything changes, and it should change once you have children, once you're responsible for other life. It should change. I feel like I have meaning. And realistically, I don't know what the meaning of my life was before kids. That's the truth. And I'm not knocking people who don't have kids, and I'm not knocking people who don't want to have kids. But I think in human nature, especially with women, and I know some women don't want to hear this. I think it's like it's an instinct in you to have kids, to want to have kids. I'm not saying that every woman should have to have kids or should want to have kids, but I think that's a primal instinct that's inherent in most women. So the truth is, like, a lot of these women who are like proud and don't have kids, it's like, I don't trust you, man. I don't trust you. That's the truth. Like, you see a lot of these like Hollywood angry women, especially ones who are like uber progressive and political. Dude, they're all single women. That's the truth though, man. They got no kids. Like, your perspective changes, man. It does. It changes in a lot of ways. And basically what she's saying is these women have such high expectations for the dude they should meet, the man they should settle down with, and they just waste years of their life away. Her final tweet says, if I had to do it all over again, I'd have a 2 to 3 year non-negotiable values, deprioritize looks in general. Interesting. I.e. 6 feet, bald, fat, etc., and focus on financial compatibility. Compatibility. It's tough to read. Be like VC, so she means venture capitalist, betting on their future potential instead of venture debt providers who look at your current P&L. So she's using some business terms, P&L, profit and loss. So she's saying, be like a venture capitalist and look at the future, not the current profit and loss, or what what's the future of this person? What's the growth? Can you see yourself with this person? And I think she makes a lot of great points. I really do. I think she makes a lot of great points here. I think that's important for both men and women. Like when you settle down, when you want to spend your life with somebody, you have to find certain values, certain goals, certain compatibility that you have to line up with. I'm not saying you have to see eye to eye on everything from politics to religion to whatever. You got to be probably pretty close, though, to be honest. Or at least have core values where you agree on. My thing always was, do I trust this person with kids? That was always my thing with girls I would date. Because like in the end, I always wanted kids, like in the long run, right? So if I saw signs and I'm like, oh, I don't know how you'd be with kids, then I know it wouldn't work. Like I dated a girl once. She she was saying she really wanted to homeschool the kids. And that was just like such a red flag for me. I remember like, homeschool? No, I don't what? I want my kids to go to school with kids. I want them to have social skills. I want them to interact. I want them to have the highs and lows of being in school, which sometimes could be bullying, sometimes could be, bad things. But I think those are all things that help you grow as a person. I wanted all those things. So when she said she wanted a kid homeschooled, I was like, ugh, that's a red flag. It's a major red flag. Or if they had certain, like real certain mental health issues, I'm like, dude, if you're a head case just living by yourself in California, how would you ever be raising a child or being in charge of a child? And look, looks are important. Natural beauty is important. But I think what she's touching on in this stuff is that you want to be attracted to somebody, but it's not about dating or marrying the hottest person. Again, it's about growing old together, growing a future, growing a family, all that stuff. That's why I thought like this tweet thread was so interesting. And there was a lot of back and forth under it. And then dudes were hopping in and discussing. It's kind of like you see now they have the parameters. I know on dating apps, met women who don't want to look at a dude under 6 foot, which is fine. Put that as a parameter. But if I did the same thing with weight, I'd be a chauvinist. I'd be misogynistic. I'd be an asshole. That's the truth. That's a double standard. If I said I didn't want to date a girl that weighed above 140 or just pick a number, then I'm the bad guy, right? I'm suddenly the asshole. Dude, I went on a couple dates and it was weird where like the expectations were so high that they were thrown off because of, like, here's an example. I met this girl. She was a nice girl. She was friendly, kind of dorky. She was actually a psychologist. Uh, we met, had a great first date. We really hit it off. We were talking. This is when I lived in California, right? I tell her my whole life story. I tell her I had a brain injury, blah, blah, blah. That's why I don't drink alcohol. She was very understanding, very sympathetic. Cool. She gets it. She was a psychologist. We go on a second date. We actually went on a second date. Where was that place? In Beverly Hills. Japanese restaurant, sushi place. She goes to order a drink, and I don't order a drink. And it like threw her off. She's like, "You don't drink at all?" I said, "I told you that last date. I don't drink. I'm done." I said, "I had a brain injury about 5 years ago. I'm done. I'm off the sauce. I don't drink alcohol. I'm like 100% sober from alcohol." And it threw her off. And then after dinner, we went back to her place to just hang out for a little bit. And she was just so, guys, she was so hung up on it. And by the way, she wasn't even a big drinker. That's what I couldn't figure out. She's like, "So you never drink?" And I remember like it made me uncomfortable. And I want to be like, "You're making me look like an asshole." Because I chose to not drink alcohol, which, by the way, isn't easy at times. Or, it's like that's a harder path I've chosen. And she was like, "Well, I have these little get-togethers occasionally, these little mixology get-togethers where I invite my friends and couples and we just like mix cocktails and see how they taste." And she's like, "You wouldn't be able to partake in that." I was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't be able to drink, or I wouldn't drink. You're doing your little mixology. I wouldn't be drinking it." It was weird. It threw. She's like, "I don't think this is gonna work." And I remember the truth is, when I drove back to my apartment, I remember being so confused because I was like, "Wow, we've literally hit it off on every regard." She's not even a big drinker. She wasn't. She was like a dorky Persian girl who was a psychologist, kind of nerdy looking, but I found it sweet. Definitely not a party girl. like this nerdy Persian girl who was attractive. But it's like this woman said in the tweets. She couldn't get past it. I didn't drink alcohol. Whereas I'm like, that's weird. Like if you were a party chick who wanted to rage, I'd get it. But she's like, I do these little mixology parties at my apartment. And you couldn't make drinks and you couldn't test them. She's like, never? Just not like one drink? Like, bitch, respect me. I don't drink. Like what don't you get? And then I drove home and I think she sent me a text the next day and she's like, I don't think it's going to work out. I was like, you think? You think? Yeah, it's not going to work out. Because you're setting these weird expectations. Like you're so hung up. You're so hung up on that. Again, if you were a party chick and we were in our 20s and you're like, I just want somebody to party with, I'd get it. But you weren't. You were like an established professional psychologist in your mid 30s who couldn't get over that I couldn't partake in some weird mixology that you do once a month with your friends. And that's why they bombed Iran, because of her. No. I think what was she? Was she Iranian? I think she was. I think she was Persian. Maybe she was Armenian. I don't remember. But look, it worked out for the better. Moving on, moving upward. We do have a call I want to get to today. Let's pull up the hotline before we get out of here. Where are we at here, guys? Where are we at? Here it is. 859-935-0078. That's the hotline. 859-935-0078. All right, let's get to where are we at here? All right, let's get to the call.
Yeah, what up, Ruther? Just want to say love the pod and everything. Got two things here. Wanted to follow up and just see kind of how those hospital bills are going for you and what the update is on that. Because we had our first baby, a couple of months ago, and they hit us with, I think it was $3,800 for my wife. And then out of nowhere, we get another bill for $1,900 for the baby because they tricked us into going to NICU when we didn't have to. We just paid that off. It was really annoying, but there's some bills I haven't paid before and literally nothing's happened. Just want to see kind of like what you are doing with that. And also,
I'll stop there. First of all, congrats on the kid. Congrats on the baby. I know it's a lot when you have your first kid and then you get hit with those medical bills. Obviously, I talked about this, last month with the medical bills, and we were hit with like a massive bill that was double what our first daughter, and it made no sense because our first daughter spent 2 weeks in the NICU, and our latest daughter, our baby Molly, spent not even 24 hours in the NICU, and our bill was double. And when I called up the hospital, normally you can negotiate. First of all, you can negotiate in life, guys. Like that's my thing. You can always negotiate in life. They were saying they weren't willing to negotiate. And my thing was like, you're just an asshole. You're just an asshole. Don't send me a $13,000 medical bill and tell me we can't negotiate. I'm fair. Be fair with me. I'm not expecting a free bill. We had a baby. We had a C-section. It's a major surgery. We were in the hospital for a few days afterwards, like most people when they have the kid. There's a lot of medical care. There's a lot of attention from doctors and nurses. I get that stuff is expensive. I get it. She's also got insurance, decent insurance. My fiance works as a pharmacist for University of Cincinnati. We didn't walk in there with nothing. So you're going to hit me with a $13,000 medical bill, and then I'm going to say, let's find a common ground here. And you're going to say no? Okay, cool. Let it go to collections. And to answer your question, that's what we did. As a quick reminder, the new law this year, if a medical bill goes to collections, it does not affect your credit score. In the past, it would affect your credit score. So now that it doesn't, let it go to collections and I'll settle it in collections. I'll come to a common agreement with whatever collection agency reaches out. And to me, that's fair. Again, I tried to be fair. You didn't. So fuck you. I'll just put it that way. Like, you guys were shady. They were shady on a lot of things. You were talking about it, like with your kid, charged for the NICU, we're in the NICU. Like, there's so many things that are wrong in the medical world, from the hospitals to the insurance companies. There's just so many. There's like, it's such a messed up. It's such a bad system. It's such a bad system all the way around. And again, that's something that I think most people can agree on, which is a good thing from both sides of the political aisle, but still nothing gets done. That's what's amazing. Like, you'll find people from the far right to the far left to the middle. They agree. Like, the whole healthcare industry is a mess. The medical field's a mess, but just it's status quo. Nothing gets done. Probably because, the power that these companies have and the influence and the billions of dollars. So that's where we're at, to answer the question. We are just, I told her, let it go to collections and then we'll settle in collections. I tried to call up there multiple times. I tried to reason with them. They weren't reasonable. Cool. You're not going to be reasonable? I'm not going to be reasonable. And in a way, you're just hurting yourself, because in collections, I can get it even lower. I have all the power, right? There's always a power structure when you're negotiating these things. They don't have any power now. Not since that law was enacted, started this year. They have no power. So we'll let it go to collections, and then and I'll be fully transparent with you guys. Like I would like to pay around what we paid for our first kid, which I think was around like $5,000. I think that's fair. That's fair to me. $5,000. We have insurance. That's about what we paid our first kid. It's like 5,000, 5,500, something like that. That's what I'll end up paying. That's what I was trying to negotiate. But no, you're going to send me a bill for $13,000. And then the chick had the nerve to be like, I don't know how I'd pay this either. Cool. Cool, Brenda. Cool, Brenda. Cool, Becky. Get fucked. All right, let's finish this call.
Random ass question. You can cut this off now if you want, but random ass question, man. Because I know you talked some stuff on this before. I think, like, the mental health and stuff. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. Listen for years, but random question for you, man. As a dude, like, if you have any friends that are ever dealing with mental health shit, I have a couple, man, that are like really bad. How do you like support your friends as that? Like, just as a dude, I just want to hear your perspective, because I've had some friends on, hate to say it, on watch, and like, I don't know how to freaking help, man. It sucks. So I just want to hear your perspective on that. Again, you can cut this off beforehand, but thanks, man. See you, Ruther.
No, man, I appreciate you didn't leave your name, I don't think, but I appreciate the call. Yeah, man, the mental health part, it's real. And I think it's good that more men are talking about it, more men are open about it. I've never been shy, to be honest. I have no problem talking about it. I have a therapist. I haven't talked to him in 3 months. I'm probably due, truthfully. I haven't talked to him as much as I'd like to the last few years. When I lived in Los Angeles, I was pretty regular. Twice a month, I'd see him. And then after my mom died, it started going every week again. And after my dad died, same thing. So, 2020 was obviously a lot. So I had therapy. But dude, here's my thing. I know it's not easy. When people have mental health issues, when men have mental health issues, you just got to talk to them and ask them what's the root of it, or what can change, what can help the mood, what can make them feel better. Everybody's different. Like, and here's the thing. They need to identify what puts them in a better mood, what makes them improve mentally. Here's a quick cheat sheet somebody gave me years ago. This is a great little one. You take a journal or you take a piece of paper and you write down, what are 20 things that can improve my mood instantly? Just think of 20. Dude, it could be anything. I wrote down like 50. Like instantly. Something you could do instantly. Like mine were literally everything from like getting a chocolate milkshake to going on a walk to watching a TV show to, at the time I was living in California, going for a beach run, a bicycle, hopping on the bicycle. A lot of it was exercise stuff. Obviously sex, something where you had some sort of satisfaction. Watching a comedy show. For me, like I love animals. Like literally, it's not, you can't just go to the zoo, but like watching a nature show. What are 15 things that can instantly put you in a better mood? Instantly. Because there's so many of them. You can just come, like, we all have things that can put us in a better mood instantly. That's the one thing I would say if you want to improve mental health, if you're a dude or if you're a woman, doesn't matter. Right? And then again, find not just 15 small things, but find things that like just help improve you. Like I said, we've really struggled with our second kid in our relationship. And then I've struggled too with just like personal issues or anger issues. And I struggle, it like all comes back not having my parents here because I have kids and I want to go to them for advice. I want to have them around. I want my girls to see my parents. Like it's not easy. But what I realized was even with all the lack of sleep and all this, like we're really not getting much sleep at all right now. Especially me, because I get up in the middle of the night and our daughter wakes up literally every night. She's done it for 7 straight weeks now. Like every single night. I'm getting, and I wear that ring now to see how much sleep I get. It calculates it, that Aura ring, and it's insane. I'm basically getting 4 to 5 hours sleep every single night. That's it. But as I ramble on about this, you know what's helped me? I started working out again. So I've worked out 14 out of the last 17 days. And that's actually helped my energy. It's helped my mental health. And I know this. And I told Brittany this the other day. I said, if I work out, I'm a much better person, man. Like that's my outlet I need now. Even if like last night, I got 4 hours sleep. What do? I wake up, get the girls, take them to daycare. I bang out like a 45-minute hard extreme cardio workout at the gym, come back home, get some work done. I feel so much better. It also helps my fatigue. So like, if your boys are struggling with mental health, and a lot of them maybe are having issues like legit suicidal issues, they got to find things that make them happy or things that they can improve or also things that they can look forward to. We all need something to look forward to in life, right? Whether it's a trip or you're going to run a marathon or like whatever, like everybody's different. You're going to see an old college buddy, an old high school friend, whatever it is. You need a small thing. Like I was texting Brittany today. I was like, dude, we haven't gone on a date. I don't even know, guys. Not since our second kid. Our second kid's 5 months old. We've never had a dinner date since she's been born. 5 months. I said, you and I need to go on a date. We need to go on a date. We're stuck with 2 little girls all the time. We need to go on a date. Like I'll look forward to that. I will look forward to just having a dinner with my fiance. She can have a drink or two. We can have a nice meal. I told her, we love our girls. I don't want to deal with them for one night. That's something that's going to improve my mental health. Just looking forward to that is going to put me in a better place. And I really do rave about therapy. I think it helps a lot of people. I think writing down how you feel at times, journaling, whatever it is, I'm a firm believer in all that stuff. And I know it's still taboo somewhat for men to go to therapy, but thankfully it's not as much anymore. And people are more open-minded, but like, you just got to talk to somebody, man. Talk to a professional. Find somebody you like, somebody you're comfortable with. Because even me, like I haven't talked to my therapist in 3 months. Dude, even that, like if I hit him up and said, "Hey, can we set up a session this week?" It's like we go right where we left off. Like we don't miss a beat. And one last thing that I did last week to help with my mental health, I did sensory deprivation again, which I haven't done in those flotation tanks. And last week was the best one I've had ever. I was so relaxed. I did it for an hour. They got a flotation place in Newport, Kentucky, which is right across the river here on the Ohio-Kentucky border. And I've really, really been like having like strong feelings of like missing my parents, and especially like missing my advice from my mom, my girls. And I was like, I just need to relax in total isolation, not hearing a baby cry, not hearing a 2-year-old whine, in total isolation, where I can focus and meditate and literally think about my mom, basically try to talk to her. And I'll tell you what, guys, I left that sensory deprivation like a different man. I came home and I told Brittany that. I said, I just feel better. And I think those are mostly everywhere now. I isolated my body and I was like teetering on sleeping. I didn't. But I said I was like mentally there in that space, in that headspace, where you feel really good. And I felt a lot better. So, I mean, that's my piece of advice, is just try to find stuff that makes you feel better, or little things that can help. There's little things and there's big things. So that's my advice for what it's worth. Obviously, I'm not a professional, so that's what I would tell your boys. So appreciate the call, though. Once again, we do have a hotline, 859-935-0078. Okay, guys, that's the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe on YouTube. Rate and review. That's always important. If you like the show, just pause right now. Throw me a bone. Throw your boy a bone. Rate and review on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. All that stuff matters. It all helps. All right, guys. Much love. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Peace.